So for today I've got week 39 for you, and I'm going to be mainly using the Calico October kit from, storyboard kit from October 2016, as well as I guess a bunch of kits, so the Hip Kit Clubs from September 2016 and the Felicity kit as well. Now the first thing I'm doing here is I picked out these number stickers, so these stickers which are from the Felicity kit. Now I don't have any more 3 in the pack, so I decided to just cut up number 8, and so just cut on the side of it and to create number 3. So those number stickers are actually from, as I said, Felicity kit. And now I am going to, and I adhere those numbers onto the cards, so 4x6 cards, which is from the Magic Story kit from Elliott Woods. And then I just stamped some dates using my roller date stamp and VersaFine black ink. Now the next thing I'm doing here is I'm moving on to this photo here. I decided to use this piece of chipboard which is from the Drive Story kit from Elliott Woods. And now I'm just adding some journaling directly onto the photo. I'm using the Lumo color black pen from Staedtler, and so I think it's a permanent pen. So, and that's what I did there. And the next thing I'm going to do here is I want to add something onto this photo. I want to add actually some word phrase stickers. And so I'm just kind of looking through a bunch of stuff I've got in my stash and to see what I want to use. And I will actually end up with some word phrase stickers from the Elliott Woods Tough Story kit. So the photo itself was just me practicing. We went to a cafe after work and I was really tired. It was Monday, it was like 7 o'clock, and so we decided to go to this cafe because I had to practice for something. And so, and I just kind of, what did the sticker say? So essentially said, hard, real, and never give up. And so I just added some journaling underneath that as well. And the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a sticker. So I'm just kind of going through this pack here, which is from the Hip Kit, so the kit from the Hip Kit Club September 2016 Scrapbook kit. I picked out this piece of chipboard here, which is from the Gather collection from Maggie Holmes. And the next thing I'm going to do here is I want to create my own journaling card, as per usual, obviously. And so I'm just trimming up a plain 3x4 card that I've got from Becky Higgins Project Live. And so I'm just trimming off the rounded corner area. And now I'm just kind of going through some pattern paper, which one I want to use. And I want to add that at the bottom of the white journaling card. So I picked out this one, which is from the Hip Kit Club's kit, and it's actually from a Maggie Holmes Gather collection. And now I'm just kind of seeing where I want to use the pattern paper. I decided to just trim off just a portion of it. Initially I cut out essentially a 3x4 in size, so because I was thinking maybe I want to kind of put that on both top and the bottom. I decided to just put that at the bottom, and so I didn't want to waste the whole piece of pattern paper, so I decided to just kind of trim off the bottom there, and then I stuck that down. And now I'm also going to add I'm going to stamp directly onto that card as well. And this stamp is actually from the Believe Story stamp set from Elliott Woods, and I've actually used the VersaFine black ink for that. And the stamp itself actually has that kind of distressed look to it. I mean, I'm not sure whether you can see that on the screen here, but it's not perfect kind of stamp, so it has kind of a little bit of a, missing parts and kind of, yeah, it's a bit of texture, I guess, onto the image there. And then I add some journaling using my Precision black pen number 03. So what did I talk about in the journaling? I said I took Monday off work because I needed to practice for something, and I decided to get lunch near home, and we went to a Vietnamese cafe near home. And yeah. And the next thing I'm doing here is I added this piece of chipboard here, which is from the Maggie Holmes thicker pack as well. And then I added some journaling directly onto the photo there. So that photo was actually when I went to see the doctor, and on the way home I decided to grab some lunch from this cafe near work called Brunetti. So yeah. And the next thing I'm doing here is I'm just adding I'm creating my own journaling card, and then so I trimmed a 3 or 4 journaling card from Becky Higgins, and then I'm going to add a strip of pattern paper down on the bottom. Essentially, it's the same. It's the back of the pattern paper I've used just on the left there, on the kind of polka dot one on the left there as well. There. And I believe I'm actually going to move this card to the right side of the spread, to be honest. And the reason actually you saw me putting sticky tape at the back of that piece there is because I didn't have enough, I guess, fan paper down at the bottom there, and so I decided to just back it up a little bit with some sticky tape just so that it doesn't fall off. The shrimp pan paper I had there was really small, so it was just kind of hanging on. So. And now I am using this pattern paper, which is from the Felicity kit. So I trim a portion of it up, and then I'm just going to add this piece of chipboard here, which is from the Maggie Holmes Gala collection. So I'm just kind of trimming that further down a little bit, partly because I want that piece of sticker to kind of be essentially in the middle between the pattern paper, kind of go exactly in the middle between the pattern paper and the white cardstock there, and I didn't want to have too much room at the top. And I mean, obviously I also wanted enough room for some journaling as well. And now I'm just kind of adding some journaling. I'm using the 2 pens, so I'm using the number 08 as well as number 03 just to create a bit of interest, to be honest. What did I talk about? So I talked about the photo just underneath it. I talked about the place. So we went out for brunch at a place called Crux & Co. And I had smoked salmon, scrambled eggs, and Andrew had some sausage roll with some salad. So. And the next thing I'm doing here is I'm just putting the card into the pocket there. And I'm going to move on to the right side of this spread. So this is the card I prepared earlier. And so the pattern paper at the bottom is actually from the Gala collection from Maggie Holmes. And the chipboard's also from Maggie Holmes as well, from the Hip Kit Club. And now I'm just going to add some journaling. So I talked about the photo just above it. So I said... we went up to a place called the Piggery Farm for our late lunch, and we shared a big serve roast chicken and some chorizo and some salad as well. And now I'm just putting the card back in there. And the next thing I am going to do is I'm going to add this badge here, which is from the Felicity Jane kit. And I'm keeping this one quite simple. I'm just going to add the brad on top and calling that done. And the next thing I'm going to do here is I want to embellish this photo a little bit. Keeping it simple once again, I'm just going to put a piece of chipboard sticker here, which is from the Magic Story kit from Alibut's. And that is it for that photo. Now, the next thing I'm going to do here is I want to add some journaling onto this photo. So I decided to punch out a circle out of just a plain white cardstock, to be honest. And now I'm just going through a bunch of cards from Sir Calico Documenter kit. I decided to punch a different card out, and I punch a part where there's kind of gold embossed there on the edge, and then I'm just trimming that off. So I'm just using the, I guess, embossed part to create a bit of interest onto the page there. And then I've just added a heart sticker there on the right, which is from the Calico shop. Now the next thing I'm going to do here is I want to add some journaling onto this photo. And so I'm just thinking, should I stamp directly on a photo or what should I do? I decided to go with, I stamped onto a white cardstock using the Olympia Crafters ink from Alliedwords. And then I'm just going to trim that out. So the stamp itself is actually from the Up Story kit, by the way, Up Story stamp from Alliedwords. To be honest, if you have a messy circle or anything that can create a prompt there would work fine as well. So just in case you don't have the stamp set, to be honest, if you know, as long as it, you know, the image itself or the prompt itself works for you, you know, to stamp on a white cardstock and stick that on top. So I adhere that using some foam dots. Now the next thing I'm doing here is I'm just going to write directly onto this photo here using some silver pen from Alliedwords. Now the last thing I'm going to do here is I am going to, is that the last thing? Yes. I'm going to create my own journaling card using a plain 3x4 white cardstock here. I essentially just cut that up from a bigger piece of paper really. I'm using this stamp here, which is from the Belief Story stamp set as well from Alliedwords, and Olympia ink as per previously. And then I'm also going to stamp a prompt using the Pendleton ink from Alliedwords as well, so a Crafter's ink. And it says making it work. And then I am just going to add some journaling using my Precision number 03 black pen once again. So this week I spent a lot of time working on this particular thing for work, and so the whole week was, essentially me talking about the fact that, it's been relatively tough and, but getting through it. So here's some close up, you guys. Thanks so much for joining me again today, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed it. And thank you so much for, for those of you who are a subscriber, thank you so much for keep coming back and watch my video. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.